life of FPSRussia ended up being even more insane than anyone ever expected. Sure, blowing stuff up with tanks, guns, and rocket launchers on the daily had already set the bar of insanity higher than any other YouTuber. However, this was only the beginning of what would become FPSRussia's incredibly turbulent life. One of the key people in the FPSRussia YouTube team was murdered, the channel was slowly shut down following a battle with the government, and to add a cherry on top of the cake, FPSRussia was then FPSRussia YouTube team was murdered, the channel was slowly shut down following a battle with the government, and to add a cherry on top of the cake, FPSRussia was then sent to prison.
The what? Raided by 40 FBI agents.
Top of the cake, FPSRussia was then sent to prison for a variety of different reasons, in the process losing his $400,000 gun collection. It's probably safe to say that in the beginning, Kyle Myers, the creator of FPSRussia, wouldn't have expected any of this. He wouldn't have expected that his channel would become the 9th most subscribed on all of YouTube in late 2012, and definitely wouldn't have expected that it would eventually land in prison. So how did he fall into such an unbelievable position? Well, the Russian gun shooting gimmick was actually started for somewhat of a hilarious reason. Kyle Myers, the creator of FPSRussia, had been uploading Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 videos, pretending to be a Russian man by the name of Dmitry Potapov, at a time when, for some reason, badass Russians were just a prominent part of popular culture.
Hello, my name is Dmitry Potapov, and I've been making gameplay commentaries for a very short time, but happily, everyone seems to love my video. I have 6,000 subscribers.
Despite completely faking the Russian element of his persona, there was another part of his act that was completely and utterly real: his love for guns. Kyle had been living on a farm in the US state of Georgia, on which he owned a grand total of 53 guns, and after feeling as though Call of Duty did a poor job of accurately depicting how these firearms worked in real life, he'd make it his mission to display the difference between guns in gaming and guns in real life. In an interview from November 2010, Kyle would state, "There are just so many unrealistic things in the Call of Duty games that I wanted to see if any of them could actually be done in real life." FPSRussia would create a real-life version of the explosive RCXD car from Black Ops, while also test firing many other guns from Call of Duty, such as the MP5, Tommy gun, and AUG assault rifle, all of which being done over the top of his fake Russian accent that was being further popularized, at least in part, by Nikolai from Black Ops Zombies at around the same time. These videos were uploaded and interwoven with his Call of Duty gameplays, but with his real-life gun videos gaining more than 80,000 views a video, and his Call of Duty videos gaining between 20,000 and 40,000 views a video, it makes sense as to why FPSRussia would then discontinue the Call of Duty gameplay and start doing nothing besides shooting different guns for the viewers of his YouTube channel.
Fair enough.
Hello my friends, this is FPSRussia again. In the last video, everyone wanted to see F2000 kill Justin Bieber, but many people wanted to see a 50 caliber Desert Eagle.
Only a few weeks after making the switch to exclusively posting real-life content, FPSRussia began to grow unbelievably quickly. His 50,000 subscribers turned into 250,000 after only 4 months, which then turned into 1 million subscribers only 4 months after that. His popularity gave him the opportunity to showcase bigger and better weapons, which then helped his channel to grow even more, creating a cycle ensuring that the channel would seemingly thrive forever. In December 2012, only 2 years after he began posting IRL content, FPSRussia would peak as YouTube's ninth.
I was a big fan of the explosive ammo and shit like that you would throw onto like get bales of gas or some shit and we go
subscribe channel with a little over 3 million followers. However, 2 months after achieving such a milestone, a tragic event occurred that would completely and utterly derail the future and success of the FPSRussia channel. In order to source all the guns used in the FPSRussia videos, someone in the group needed to have a federal firearms license. This very specific license, which allowed the individual who held it to engage in business relating to the manufacture of ammunition or firearms, was held by a man named Keith Ratliff. Being the owner of the team's federal firearms license, the co-founder of FPSRussia, a gun store owner, and a part owner in a custom firearms business named FPS Industries, Keith Ratliff was integral for the channel to have a constant flow of new and novel weapons. So when he was found dead with a bullet in the back of his head on the 3rd of January 2013, only 2 weeks after FPS Russia became one of the most subscribed channels on all of YouTube, it's really no surprise that everything plunged into a state of chaos. Not only had FPS Russia's life flipped upside down overnight following the murder of a friend who regularly appeared in the videos, but he had also lost the individual responsible for sourcing the channel's firearms. Following Keith Ratliff's death, the FPS Russia channel would go completely silent, presumably to mourn the death of their team member and to figure out how they would continue to source new guns for the channel. FPS Russia wouldn't return for another 2 months, but with the passing of time, he stated that he was ready to get back into making content.
And we're back in action. So as many of you know, we lost a member of the team about a month ago, but I felt like it was time to get back into the swing of things, get back to the firearms, and most importantly, get back to entertaining you guys.
However, the United States government seemed to have a different idea. Only a month after he returned to YouTube, his house and his dad's farm on which he filmed many of his videos would be raided by 40 agents from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives, stating that he had been using potentially illegal explosives to earn money through YouTube. The county sheriff stated that these raids were also in connection to the suspicious death of his former business partner, as the murder was still unsolved almost 3 months after having occurred. The 40 agents who raided FPS Russia's house on that day left empty-handed. He had nothing illegal to hide. However, this wouldn't be the last raid of FPS Russia's house, and following the first raid and unsolved death of his former business partner, the government became more scrutinous, imposing what he considered to be unfair regulations on his channel.
I've always had like rules and regulations imposed on me that no other like gun YouTube channel had imposed on them. I've been warned by like federal agencies and like district attorneys and stuff that like, don't do this or we'll come and get you.
FPS Russia was now fully aware that the government had a close eye on his YouTube channel, so possibly fearing further legal ramifications. In the same month that his house had been raided and a month after Ratliff's death, FPS Russia would delete 33 million views worth of videos from his channel, then go on yet another hiatus. However, this break would last for not 1, 2 or 3 months as it had previously, but rather he would go completely silent on all social media for 9 whole months.
And it has been a very long time since we've uploaded the video, and it's been a while since I've posted on social media as well, and I wanted to first of all explain that I've been through so many times where I've been trying to set up production days, working with film crews, working with high-speed stuff, and everything fell through.
With 9 months being the equivalent to about 9 years in YouTube time, upon returning from his hiatus, the channel had unsurprisingly slowed quite dramatically. His subscriber growth had dropped from 200,000 a month to between 50 and 100,000 per month, while his viewership dropped from approximately 15 million per month to around 7 million per month. The monthly viewership and subscriber drop of around 50% was actually somewhat mild, considering he took close to a whole year off.
Guys, who cares if he fix an accent? The channel is a certain name and has a character that he's playing the whole time. Who the fuck cares? Seriously, literally who cares? Nobody cares, man.
However, a drop in his monthly view and subscriber count wasn't the only YouTube related problem that FPS Russia had been facing.
Overhead's crazy for one thing. Like the overhead for making one of the videos, and now with YouTube monetization, demonetization, that makes it real hard.
Throughout 2015 and 2016, YouTube monetization rules were changing, and from what FPS Russia said in the previously shown clip, the changes were clearly affecting his channel, making a profitable production harder and harder to produce. Now, there's no hard evidence for this, but FPS Russia may have also been growing tired of the same old video format, putting on a Russian accent, introducing a gun, saying that the target is gonna have a bad day, then blowing it up over and over again, must have been getting monotonous as his channel was approaching 5 years of age. This might explain as to why the quantity of uploads declined dramatically. In 2015, he would upload a total of only 9 videos, equaling less than 1 per month, but while the video uploads were decreasing, the gun collection definitely wasn't. And the fact that FPS Russia had so many firearms registered, holding the highest license available, meant that any government agency could turn up at his house at any time and search his things for even the most minor of suspicions.
Because of the types of firearms that I owned, we're able to search my house regardless.
You didn't have a regular license, you had a super license.
No, yeah, I had the highest level of licensing for everything. You're kind of on a database of like, oh, this guy has this, they have the right to come in.
FPS Russia had been seen by police wearing a pair of shorts, which apparently gave them authority to search his house as they had 4 years previously.
They wrote a warrant that said they were able to search my home due to the fact that I was wearing shorts.
This time, however, the feds would not leave empty-handed and rather found a small amount of hap.
Is that because, according to the license, if you're around the firearms, you need to be like fully clothed so you don't get like shrapnel or like pieces of metal that fly onto your skin or something like that for harm or something like that? Or am I completely off the fucking mark?
found a small amount of hash, ultimately resulting in a prosecution as only
Wait, they did what?
Warrant that said
which apparently gave them authority to search his house as they had 4 years previously.
they wrote a warrant that said they were able to search my home due to the fact that I was wearing shorts.
This time, however, the feds would not leave empty-handed and rather found a small amount of hash, ultimately resulting in a prosecution as owning illegal drugs while also owning a firearm is a federal offense in the USA. However, it got worse. Since he had shared the drugs with his girlfriend at the time, he was somewhat ridiculously charged with the intention to distribute.
Sharing
What?
marijuana with a second party is distribution by the law.
The severity of the charge also meant that the government was able
Wait, that makes no sense at all. What state does he live that they do that?
to confiscate FPS Russia's $400,000 firearm collection consisting of over 50 guns.
200K?
Who are you gonna convince that a guy with his girlfriend is intent to distribute? How can you prove that? No, nobody would fall for this.
Like, you could get more than that in guns.
Yeah, closer to 400.
They took $400,000 worth of guns?
After almost 2 years of back and forth legal discussion, FPS Russia was sentenced to 56 days in federal prison with a $7,500 fine and 2 years probation upon release. He would be released from prison in October 2019. However, in the process, he lost his gun collection, a bit of his dignity, and as comical as it sounds, his Russian accent. The fact that FPS Russia was on probation for 2 years meant he wasn't allowed access to any type of firearm.
Obviously, felons aren't allowed firearms, but people
What
who are on
the-
probation aren't allowed, like, anything. Like, I can't even have, like, pepper spray.
And therefore there was no way for the FPS Russia videos to continue legally.
Yeah, I'm a felon. I can't get guns until,
Ever
like,
again?
yeah, until they pass some sort of law.
Okay.
Eventually, I think eventually, like that'll come full circle. But who knows? Or maybe some state will refuse to observe federal law, or I might just go to another country.
Well,
Like I'm willing to do any of the three.
Kyle Myers
Doesn't matter if you agree with weed or not, or whatever. This is just fucking stupid.
has impressively
That's just
maintained his
dumb.
success on YouTube as a host of the incredibly popular PKA or Painkiller Already podcast. However, unfortunately, the same cannot be said for everyone's favorite Russian, Dmitry Potapov. FPS Russia's final video is uploaded to the channel on the 17th of April 2016, and as mentioned, unless there's a change to laws surrounding gun ownership for felons, or he decides to move to another country, it's unlikely that this will change anytime soon.
I mean, you wouldn't be able to move to a country and get a super license over there, right? Unless you go to some scuffed ass place.